Cleveland Brown faithful, if that's a word we could use still. Faith. If any of you have any faith in this team, welcome on in. If you don't, I don't blame you. Because why would you? That is going to be my opening point here. What leads you to believe that this team is competent? What leads you to believe through 4 weeks that this team is good at football? What leads you to believe that the coaching staff has everything together? What leads you to believe that Deshaun Watson is worth $230 million? What leads you to believe that we could beat other professional football teams? If you guys have any suggestions on that, I can't wait to hear from you. We're going to hear from plenty of people tonight. Cathartic Dab, welcome on in. Turner, welcome on in. It's going to be an open panel tonight. I want to hear from everybody. I got about 10 minutes here, and I'm 1 minute early. It's amazing. This never happens. I'm a whole minute early to the show because you know what? I'm sitting here looking for resources, pulling up tweets, pulling up video clips. Why? We all saw it. We all saw the game. I could sit here and talk to you for an hour. That's not going to be a lot of fun. I mean, maybe you'll get entertainment out of it. It might be more entertaining than the game. But yeah, let's start with this. All of our injuries aside, Max Crosby out, Devontae Adams out. They were missing their two best players. They were missing their best offensive player, and they were missing their best defensive player. It's amazing. It's amazing. They tried to hand us the game every opportunity they could in the second half. It's amazing. Like, again, how many more times do I have to come on here after the game is over and just be like, well, you know, we beat ourselves. It's every week. It's every week with these clowns. It's not like other teams are coming out and playing better than us and winning the football game. No, we're terrible. We end up doing some stupid shit. The interception, the missed extra point, the holding call, which is to me, the thing that was least up against us. Whatever you want to say about the last play from Watson, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of controversy. Oh, this guy was open. Screenshot this, screenshot that. He was open, and I understand. And I get it. And I hear that, we need to blame people. We need to blame people. Am I going to be able to find a positive from this game? Maybe one. And it's not going to be what you guys think. Maybe it is what you guys think, but I don't think it's exactly what you guys think I'm thinking about. Let's get started here into just some of the resources that we could pull from and just let's talk about some things that, just as far as statistics. 20-16. I mean, 10 points in the first quarter. 2 games in a row where you score on your offense. 2 games in a row where you score a touchdown on your first offensive possession. And you only score 16 points? What did you score last week? What did we score last week? 15? I can't even remember. My memory is so bad because I have to watch this terrible product week in and week out. 21-15. And you scored 7 out of your 15 on one play last week. Congratulations. You forget how to play football after the first drive. I don't understand how Stefanski's offense looks otherworldly after through 15 plays, and then after that it looks like Pee-wee football. I'm not even sure I have the energy to be like worked up and give you guys a show here. I just want to put that out there right now. I want to come on here and complain and scream and pound things. Trust me, I do. Because yeah, what else is there to do? But let's just try to make it through this one, okay? What did we see here in the statistical categories? 241 total yards. The Raiders defense is terrible, by the way. This Raiders defense is horrible. Even with Max Crosby, they were bad, let alone without. 149 passing yards. And I get it. 75, you get 75 yards erased on some stupid ass holding penalty, phantom call on our third string center. I get it. I understand. 92 rushing yards. It felt like we had like 9 rushing yards. How many rushing yards outside of Watson? We'll figure it out. Third down efficiency, garbage. Fourth down efficiency, 0 for 1. Yeah, funny. We run more total plays than them. Wow. Can we give it up for sacks allowed? Should I golf clap for only 3 sacks allowed? No, I shouldn't, because it should have never even had to get to that. It should have never even got to that point. Penalties, only 5 penalties. Good job. Here were our expectations for me and Justin's expectations for this week. Let's check in on them actually while we're looking at the stats. Wide receivers less than 3 drops. I don't think we got there. I think we had 3 drops. I think we had exactly 3 drops because I'm counting the Amari Cooper BS interception as a drop. I think we had 3 total. Depending on how you look at the stat sheet. No stupid turnovers. Yep, couldn't even do that. Stupid ass turnover. Should have been a first down. First down goes into a turnover. No more than 7 penalties. And Myles Garrett, please don't go off sides. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. That's 1 out of 3 so far. We had 4 total. That's 1 out of 3. 5 plus passes of 20 air yards or more. Yep. I don't think that happened. I'm almost certain that happened. That didn't happen. There's no way I don't even think there was how many attempts did we have that were over 20 air yards? Not more than 5. Yeah. The one positive, Watson was fine. We're going to get you in here, Turner. I'm sending you the link here shortly. Going to get you on as the first guest segment. We're going to have people calling into the show because I want to talk. I need somebody to talk to. I'm going to go crazy. Nothing more miserable than being a Browns fan, unfortunately. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And it's bad. It's bad because of other reasons. And I told myself I wasn't going to talk about other teams around the league, and I'm not going to. You guys know what happens. You guys know who else played today. There's other quarterbacks who've played today, and there's other, Harrison Bryant is catching passes for the Raiders. I'm like, this is amazing. And if you watch the broadcast, they showed you plenty. Ooh, former Browns. I just wanted to just throw my phone. Go Guards is all I could say. Fair enough. Go Guardians. Hopefully they don't royally disappoint us. They're on a tear, so good for them. Let's go into player stats before I bring some people on here. 24 of 32 for Deshaun, 176 yards. It's amazing he has 24 completions and only has 176 yards. 7.3 yards per completion. That's sad. That's sad. That's sad, Kevin. 7 yards of completion. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Interception wasn't his fault, obviously. Jerome Ford, 10 carries, 58 yards, 5.8 yards average. Deshaun Watson, 8 carries for 32 yards. Foreman, 4 carries, 2 yards. Thanks, Kevin. Judy, 6 for 72. Amari, 4 for 35. I can't believe I defended him all off season. I can't believe I said we should have given him another year. I'm glad they didn't give him another year. It's looking dumb that we even gave him the extra $5 million for this year. Yeah, amazing. If I would have told you preseason that in week 4, our fourth highest, the individual with the fourth highest receptions was Blake Whiteheart, 3 receptions for 13 yards. Never heard of him. What else do we have going on here? I think that's it. Let me go over to my tweet. Let me go over to what I think kind of sums up the game for you. Tweeted this. I tweeted this before the fumble recovery because I was really down bad before then. Then the fumble recovery for a touchdown came, and it was, there's some hope. Bullshit around and missed the extra point. Typical. And then obviously the conclusion. Offensive line can't block. Deshaun can't elevate. Amari's ego got hurt by rumors. Defense forgot how to play. Running game non-existent. And the biggest thing there is how do you let up all these rushing yards? In my opinion, I feel like that was one of the most egregious parts of the game, and it's going to get lost in the fold. And we're going to talk about 19 other things, from now until the next game. But it's like Zamir White. Not that good. Sorry, he just really isn't. This Raiders team is not that good. Actually, they're categorically bad. The New York Giants, categorically bad. And when you look at strength of schedule, when you look at teams' win-losses and their winning percentages down the stretch, these were easier games. These were the easy games to win. And the AFC North is they're not world beaters. They're not. We've gone from the best division in football to the most overrated division in football in one offseason. Baltimore doesn't move me. Cincinnati finally gets a win. The Steelers lose today. And these idiots in Las Vegas can't just take what's right in front of them. They can't. Egregious. That's all I have to say is egregious. That's the word of the day. That's going to be the word of the year. Yeah, because it's going downhill, and it's going downhill really quick. I thought it was downhill after last week's loss. It's like off the cliff at this point. So that's all I have to say for the intro. I'm going to bring guest speakers onto the panel here. You know, we're going to have segments. We're going to talk to fans. We're going to talk to people who watch the show, and we're going to go from there. Let's see who, what else can there be talked about? The cornerbacks are bad. Our defensive backfield has been terrible for the most part through 4 weeks. The defensive line is like Myles Garrett is carrying you. Zadarius Smith is like MIA. I feel like I haven't even heard his name called once on the broadcast through 4 weeks, maybe 1 or 2 times. JOK is probably our first or second best defensive player outside of Myles. It's really Myles, JOK, and then everybody else kind of falls off a cliff. Jordan Hicks is okay, gets hurt today. Haven't really seen any explosive plays from Grant Delpit. Juan Thornhill's been hurt. Typical, we go out and get a safety, and they're always hurt between him and John Johnson. They're not very good anyway. For the past couple of seasons with this defensive backfield. The offensive line actually plays like pretty good for them today. Like they were okay. They weren't good by like NFL standards by any means. Still just some plays where like there was never a chance. Watson never had a chance on some plays. The running backs never had a chance on some plays. Cooper is terrible. He's horrible. And he would have made up for a lot of that with touchdown would have stood. I understand that. But outside of that, kind of cost you the game. Dustin Hopkins kind of cost you the game. Deshaun Watson doesn't help you on the last play, goes back to, I feel like all game he was just getting out the sack demons. He was not vacating pockets early. And when he knew where he wanted to go with his legs. He knew that he had to run. And then the last play, it just like, he just relapsed back into nonsense mode and he vacates the pocket. He doesn't even go. I feel like he didn't even look. Like, I don't even think there's a screenshot of him looking to the the left-hand pylon, the back left corner of the end zone. And he scrambles and he wasn't fast enough. He wasn't fast enough. So some questionable play calls by Stefanski. There was a third down. There was a second down run that bothered me. There were some plays that bothered me, but hopefully that is enough of me being bothered. I doubt it though. Let's see if guest number 1, Turner Mudrock, could lighten the mood. Mr. Mudrock, talk to me.
Up? That was probably the toughest game to watch in a while. Honestly, that was probably tougher to watch than last week.
Tougher to watch,
just because. I mean, it's like the same old story every single year, every single game. First drive, go down, score, like nothing. Defense comes out first drive, 3 and out. I think they had like 2 yards maybe. I think they had more penalty yards than their regular yards in like the first quarter or the first couple plays or first couple drives. I was like, all right, we're good. We scored 10-0. And then
10-0 and you score
and it's 10-10 and then 20-10. Okay. So 0-0 in the second and third quarter. I was texting you. I said, Browns are going to probably come back. It's going to be close. And they got the fumble recovery. I had a feeling they were going to get a turnover. I knew that Zamir White was just doing something weird today. I mean, look at his stats every other game. He's terrible. Finally, we get some luck going, and then I think the missed extra point kind of destroyed that momentum. Honestly, I didn't think it was that big of a deal at first. I mean, there was still plenty of time in the game. But honestly, that probably was a big killer one. And Kevin Stefanski, man, what are you doing? You're supposed to be coach of the year and all this jazz. And I think my biggest pet peeve with him is 4th and 3. You go up to hike the ball. No. Okay, timeout. You waste like 20 seconds. Call
And
timeout.
the broadcast mentioned that, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, does it really matter? And then whoever was on the broadcast, whether it was Feely or the other guy, broke it down, and I was like, yeah, I don't even know why he did that. How many times did both teams try to do some nonsense like, oh, let's try to get a free 5 and have them jump off sides, and it didn't work all game.
I mean, they knew that was coming. I'm sitting here watching. If we know it's coming and they're practicing and doing it every single day of their lives, they know it's coming.
Correct.
For fourth and 3, reach into your playbook. You need the best play that you run every single day at practice that can get you 3 yards. 3 yards. It's not like you had to get 18 or 5 or 6. 3 yards. That's all you needed, and you get sacked. Like that's like, come on. At least get the ball out and give yourself a chance.
Didn't even give him a chance. Here, I want a live reaction. I want a live post-game reaction to this nonsense really quick here. Let's watch.
Right side of your screen, Harris is right there. Again, it's when Watkins steps up. Harris needs to try to keep moving his feet.
My favorite part about it is that they call it a hold. They call it a hold. It was so egregious that not only were they able to see it, half the time these idiot refs, they don't even see a lot of the holds. If you're not in position, especially if the quarterback is moving around, they saw it apparently, and then they even threw the flag. But it was such a grave holding call that was like affecting the play that not only does Nick Harris let go of him. Let go of 94. Watson gets crushed.
Moving his feet. Oh, I don't like that call at all.
Wow, what a great holding call by the referees. Yeah, he doesn't like that call at all. But of course, that's the call. And my thing is too. Whatever, we were on CBS or whatever. Amari is like running down the field. He's in the end zone. There's no flag graphic. I'm like freaking out, and then the flag animation.
You hear the ref. No, you hear the ref. Just come on, offensive holding. I was jumping up and down too. I was going nuts. And then all I hear is offensive holding. I'm like, my jaw just dropped. I was like, you're kidding me. And then they showed the replay. Crazy. I'm like, Watson got mugged. He got mugged so many times. And I mean, they did throw 1 or 2, but
a bunch.
That one was definitely, I mean, I get it. It's NFL. They can't stop their momentum sometimes. But if you're going to call holding on that, at least call another play or another flag and offset and replay the down. Like, that honestly crushed that whole drive.
2 weeks in a row, too, where we had some stupid nonsense where they gave us a personal foul because one of our defenders hit the opposing quarterback in the face. I don't even know if that Alex Wright play led to them scoring, but it was a third down.
He scored a touchdown or a field goal.
It was a third down. We're getting off the field, and Alex Wright just hits Minshew in the face.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't. They said Miles on the broadcast, but it wasn't him.
I mean, but I know it's unbelievable.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Honestly, I knew when Cooper dropped that ball. I mean, I know he's not perfect. You can't catch every ball. Like, yeah, okay. But he bounced back, and he did make a good play at the end, and he didn't catch it. I mean, he did come up with a couple good plays when it mattered the most. Like, honestly, the pick didn't kill us. Like, yeah, maybe. But
it wasn't like the game. But, I mean, I felt like every time that this offense was in somewhat rhythm, though, something like that happened.
We have.
How many offensive what?
Touchdowns.
1.
First drive. So then we went. What did we do the rest of the game? Field goal the next drive. Punt, interception, and then fourth down.
Defensive touchdown, missed extra point.
The defense is scoring you points. And the defense played terrible. I mean, not terrible. They played average.
They were not good. 17 carries for Zamir White, 50 yards, 2.9 yards a carry. All right, fine. Alexander Madison, 5 carries for 60 yards, 12 yards a touch. Every time you touch a ball is a first down. Amazing.
Minshew and you have like Zamir White probably wouldn't even be starting on this Browns team with
Minshew, 14 completions for 130 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, how do you lose? How do you lose this game? It's unthinkable.
Not scoring versus a crappy Raiders defense. Honestly, are they like I keep saying these defenses are crappy? Probably
they're not good.
I think it's the recency bias that I'm just having. Like Panthers, Andy Dalton, 300+ yards, 3 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard, 100+ rushing yards, 1 touchdown rushing. I'm looking at these crap teams, and they're doing great versus the Raiders. I mean, and then the previous game, like Giants. I mean, Commanders are playing pretty good, but they torched the Giants. Giants are just like, okay, they had a pretty good Thursday night game, but it's like, dude, what is going on? Why are we losing? Like, yeah, everyone probably thought Browns going 4-1 start the season. Well, we're 1-3, and it's only going to get tougher.
And we got 2 more games on the road. Back, 3 games we're on the road. But I mean, 16.5 points per game. Isn't this one of the highest paid offenses in the National Football League? And I get that a lot of that money is wrapped up in injuries. Njoku, Chubb, the offensive line. I am aware that the offensive product that we're putting out on the field is not all encompassing of that money, but you have Watson, you have Amari. Amari is making $25 million this year. Amari is, I would love to even know where he is on the wide receiver chart of like highest paid wide receivers. I know he's not up there, but he has to be, somewhat in the running for the entirety of the league. Judy's making $17-18 million. It's amazing to me. You got Turner. Anything else? Final thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm blaming Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin Stefanski for this loss.
Honestly, who cares about the previous 3.5 quarters? The last 5 minutes, the defense stepped up, got 3 and outs every single time. I mean, they came to play when it mattered in the fourth quarter, got you back in the game, and the offense. Honestly, Watson played fine. I'm iffy about Watson here and there, but honestly, he looked fine. What's up with only 100? I mean, okay, yeah, took away the 80-yard passing touchdown, but what's up again with the 180 passing yards? Bro, come on. Can we get a 300 or 200-yard game? Just one.
No.
And Kevin Stefanski, your game planning is terrible. Like, you need to do something more throughout the whole week and get your guys going and call some better plays. I mean, other teams are calling great plays and fine plays. Call some plays where one guy, like, they can't guard every single guy, every single play. Like, yeah, they're running man. Okay, run a man beater where someone's going to get open. Like, run across where, okay, someone's going to be open. Like,
I felt like, but to your point there, though, I felt like his scheming, I agree with you. Here's what I'll say about Stefanski today. I felt like for all 4 games, the scheming for the most part was actually the best. I know that's going to sound crazy, but I'm going to double back and say when for the big plays, it was probably the worst. The plays that really mattered, they were not.
All eyes are on you and watching. The plays sucked. But when
I felt like there were drives though where it felt like for the first time all year where it was like, all right, the ball is actually being moved. The Raiders defense, not good, but the last 4th down play after the timeout, kind of stupid. And there was just some other stuff, riddled in there where it's like, okay, you only take 3 sacks, you don't have a lot of penalties, and you still don't have a lot of offensive yards. Like you got rid of the sack problem kind of for the most part. And I know your offense has to be dialed back in order for that to happen with this offensive line. And you didn't have a lot of negative penalties where it killed a lot of drives, and you still couldn't have this big offensive output. What was the longest play from scrimmage today from this team?
Probably Ford.
That big run, yep. What was that, 30, 40 yards?
35 yards, and that was like half his rushing yards. Or, I mean, it would have been the Cooper play, obviously, but it had to have been Ford. The other one was either Judy with like a 28-yard catch, but it had to have been Ford on that. And I thought he was gone. Honestly, I didn't think there was another safety back there, but
yeah, honestly, he could have scored on that play.
This was my beef. 2 beefs. Why is Foreman returning kickoffs? We don't have anyone else better. He's a 2-down. He's a 1st and 2nd yard back. He's not good at pass catching, and he shouldn't be returning kickoffs. He's not dynamic like that. He's an up and downhill runner. He's not electric like that. And 2, the 2nd and 10. You already mentioned this earlier, but now that I'm thinking a little bit more about this game, 2nd and 10 before the end of the half, you run the ball and you get 0 yards, and you're like right around field goal range. Why not just drop back and pass? And Watson's honestly so good at running the ball, like when no one's open and just going around getting 4 or 5 yards, making it like 2nd and 5, 3rd and 4, and then making it close. All right, 3rd and 10, and then you call a stupid play and it's 3rd, and then it's 4th and 10, and you punt. Why not just kick the field goal? That probably
the 58-yarder, the 58-yarder.
Try it. It's 58. It was 4 yards more than what he just kicked, and he nailed it.
And you're inside.
And you're indoors, or call a 5-yard play and you get 5 yards and it's in his range and you kick the field goal and then the extra point don't even matter. And guess what? That last drive, you can milk the clock out and kick a game-winning field goal. That honestly right there was the killer when he didn't kick that field goal at halftime.
Here's what I'll leave you with. It's Grok, which is Twitter's AI.
Yep.
Or Twitter's like Chat GPT
That was the
model,
last
basically.
and that was the last offensive drive too.
35 yards run was the largest play today. Where's the
I'm
explosiveness? Where's the big touchdowns? I know
really
they got called back with a hold.
What's really funny about this play is I looked at Marissa and I was like, I swear to God, if they run it here, I'm gonna lose it. And they run it, I go, I don't like this play. As soon as he touched the ball, I go, I don't like this play. And he missed like 2 defenders and broke a tackle, and I was like, oh my gosh, no way. I was like, why are we running the ball out like right here? Well, honestly, was that game. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the Raiders and the recency of them just not being good the past couple of years, or if this was just like, what's up with Stefanski not losing back-to-back games? This was like
a good point. It's a good point.
This was honestly the game we should have had. The one probably. Honestly, I think I texted you in the summer. I said we're going to lose this game too.
And honestly, it's just ever more frustrating because we won every single game like this last year. We won every single one.
Yeah, and honestly, that's like how the NFL works. I feel like you win
good variance or bad variance.
You're either gonna there's no in between. You're gonna go 5-0 and lose and win every single close game, or you're gonna go 0-5 and lose every single close game. I think that happened last year with the Vikings. 2 years ago, they won like 5 games or 6 games and made the playoffs like 3-point games. The next year, they lost all those games. Did they miss the playoffs last year? I think so. Missed playoffs last year. Now
one or two plays though really makes your season. And now you're shifting into don't lose the locker room if you're even already there.
I mean, it's 1-3. We're only there's still.
Your chances are low to make the playoffs though. Super low.
All right, do we tank the rest of the year then? How many more games are we gonna? How many more games if we lose? Do you just say, all right, Chubb, you're not coming back?
One more, probably one more, probably one more.
You're done. One more. You think if we go 1-4 and we lose to the Eagles next week, Chubb's done? Wrap it up.
Maybe.
Then
maybe.
What?
You're not going to rush them back. It's not like you're 3-1 and like. I don't know.
All right, here, hold on. One more question. One
more. Got to get to my next guest here.
Yeah. I don't want to hold you up.
You're good.
Are we good with Cooper and Judy, or do we need to upgrade even more than just what we have? I feel like
Cooper's going to be done after. Cooper's going to be done after this year.
Or is it the offensive line? I think he had time some plays, and I want to know who's in Watson's ear. Is it Stefanski? Is Stefanski in Watson's ear, or is it the offensive coordinator up in the box? Because I'm watching, and they got
Stefanski.
8 guys on the line of scrimmage. I go, here comes a 7-man blitz, 6-man blitz. Call something or get rid of it. Like, is someone not in his ear 24/7 saying, hey, they're blitzing you, change the play?
I felt like he changed some plays today too.
He did. No, he did. Honestly,
and it was actually okay.
This is probably Watson's best game of the season so far. He used his legs. He did hit
Not saying much, but true.
I mean, yeah, his stat wise, he didn't look good, but on the field, he looked good. I think
eye test was good today from him, except for the last play.
He would have had that 80-yard touchdown, 2 touchdown passes,
right?
And the 80
BS interception. Yeah, it would have been an above average day for him, but it just turns out to be
did not come down
below average.
I agree, and I think it comes down on just Stefanski. Honestly, the defense was fine. Not great. They were fine. They were mid. But Stefanski just
mid. You
got to have a 4th and 3. That was the game. That no matter what happened before that or after, that was the one play where you needed to have your best play on standby and be like, "Yep, 4th and 3. I'm running this zig play that I know Cooper's going to be open," and it's not even a question. Literally 2 seconds in Watson's hand, out to Cooper. No matter what, don't even give him a chance to blitz. That's 4th and 3 and the 2nd and 10 run. Stupid.
Fair enough.
I'm blaming him. All righty.
All right, Turner. Appreciate your insight.
All righty.
Thanks for being on the pulse.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Have a good one.
For having me. See ya.
Peace. All right. Guest number 2. Shout out Turner. Absolutely bringing the content here. I'm still fed up, man. I still am. I'm not going to get over it. I can't. This team has just pissed me off all year. Even in the win, they pissed me off. Robert, welcome onto the show.
Jeffrey, how are you?
Guest number 2, live in the flesh. We got out of the phone call situation. We got you on the big screen. The video is live. Adam, thank you. Great analysis. We appreciate you, brother. Listen up. 1 and 3. You know what? Let's give the audience a little tidbit of me and you this past weekend, because we had this weekend circled to go out, make the trek out to Las Vegas, bring the wives. We had it all planned out. You know, some things fall through, you know, logistically didn't really happen. Still made a weekend out of it somehow. Funny how life works.
Yeah.
So glad that it fell through.
Aren't you glad we didn't make it?
But I'm telling my wife this. I said, you know what? I'm kind of glad that it didn't pan out, because we're going to spend all this money. We're going to fly out there. We're going to change our work schedules around. We're going to use whatever we got to do. We're going to mess up our weekend, and they're going to lose. And then I have to sit on a plane for 5.5 hours home, and all I got to do is think about, I got to be jet lagged the day after. So that's it.
We would have been so mad tonight. Going to the casino, going to the airport.
Oh, we would have lost all of our money after that. We would have been steaming at the tables. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, this is just a bad outfit. Nephew, it's a bad outfit. Watson, for all we can say about him, he tried today. He played the best that we've seen him play. But when it's 4th and 3 and the game is on the line, Pat Mahomes makes the play. He wins the game. Josh Allen, he wins the game. Tom Brady, they win the game. Now, Watson is getting paid like those guys. He didn't win the game.
Correct.
No matter what happened the rest of the game. Yes, the phantom call. I disagree with you guys about our defense was terrible. We can't tackle. And for the love of God, could Jim Schwartz, for the love of God, the first thing we should do Tuesday morning, if I had anything to do with the locker room, stop the dancing. Stop celebrating. You guys are no good. And you're 1 and 3. You give up 15 yards and you're dancing? Cut it out. Cut it out. I mean, what are you guys doing?
My favorite, and this is league wide, my favorite wide open or semi-open wide receiver, and Minshew just throws a shit ball, and they're all like, nope, incomplete. Like, stop, cut that out. I couldn't agree with you more. That's so funny.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
Last week they had a choreographed dance in the end zone, and it wasn't even.
Flag. That was the best thing about that game, to be honest with you. That dance, that was the best thing they did. Go ahead, Neff. Go ahead.
So, oh my gosh. But here's where I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback, though, because I get it. You have the eye test. You have. All right, let's go 3 camps here. You have the eye test. You have the statistics, and then you have the outcome. Visually, I want to agree with you. The defense visually doesn't look good. There's not a lot of pressure on the quarterback besides Myles Garrett. We've said that a lot since we've drafted him.
Right.
The linebackers are okay. Like they make good plays. JOK, looks like an all-pro a lot of the times. And then there's some running plays where you're just like, they're getting, enveloped and there's nothing there. The defensive backs have been below average, like all year long, in my opinion. So let's get that. I'll agree with you. Visually, no good. They only give up 20 points, though. You should be able to win the football game. You should be able to win a football game if you're only giving up 20 points. What did they give up last week?
You played, as much as I love Gardner, you played Gardner without Devontae Adams. Who were his running backs? Alexander Madison and whoever the other guy was?
But I mean, so what are your losses? Let's take a look at this. Let's throw the Dallas game out because they were actually terrible. Well, we're not going to throw it out like it never happened. I'm not saying so to say, but I mean, let's just take a
Dak's
look at
a good
it.
quarterback. Dak's a hell of a quarterback. I'll give him that. Go
Especially in the regular season, he's a tryhard. But let's take a look. Like as far as your blame game, you give up 33 to Dallas. Okay, fine, that's fine. You were on the field the whole game. I wasn't even going to blame the defense for that game, but the points, like I said, eye test, stats, outcome. You gave up 13 points week 2, you give up 21 points week 3, and you give up 20 points week 4, and you've lost both of these games.
Sickening.
So is it, where's the continuity is going to be one of my next questions here, because it looks like we're driving. Terrible turnover, mostly from Amari Cooper, obviously.
Oh, that was atrocious. Criminal right there. Criminal.
You have some good plays defensively, and then they give up the 3rd and 9 defensively, where they ran the ball with Matt. I think that was Madison for 16 yards. I'm just sitting there like watching it, and my jaw is just on the floor.
He had 5 rushes for 60 yards.
Correct.
I mean,
12 yards a carry.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, if you notice, we haven't scored 20 points this year in any game, have we?
Nope. We're averaging 16.5. What is this? Yeah. We just had this up. 16.5 points per game.
Who do you blame? Dorsey? I don't think Dorsey does anything.
I didn't think Alex Van Pelt did anything.
No, me either. Because you guys were talking a little bit. You see Stefanski on the sidelines like this. He's talking into Watson's ear, and at 15 seconds they cut it off.
Correct.
So after 15 seconds, they give him all the plays, and then he's got to make his reads and his audibles off of that play. It's all Stefanski, I think.
To me, it's how do you call a game where Watson could actually throw passes? We just have too many issues. Like this team, I hate to be saying this through 4 weeks. This team is just not good. And I kind of coped with it after the first week, all right, like terrible showing. Then you win week 2, and last week was even more cope, like, all right, the offensive line. So, but the issues remain. You can't have all of these existential issues. You cannot have an offensive line that cannot run pass protection correctly. You can't have a running back room that is below average, and you can't have wide receivers who are just average. Like the wide receiving room has just been average, and Watson has just been average and that might be generous for some games. He really has just been average, but at the end of the day, if you had good pass protection, you could at least maybe look to open the playbook. If you had a serviceable running back play, you could at least use use play action and use that to your advantage. You have none of that right now, and it shows.
Okay. Denver gave Judy away. They gave him away. When you say the offensive line, for the first time ever, we saw Watson get pissed finally at DeWan Jones on the sidelines.
And that is my only positive away from this game was that right there.
Because how many times are we going to watch that guy pay me at 50 years old and out of shape, let me suit up, I'll stand there and let 2 guys run past, because that's all they're doing.
He's like this.
He's standing there. That's all he's doing.
Right by him. Guy goes right by him.
That is gun in a ski mask material. He's taking money from these people. But anyhow, you're right. The running back room, we talked about this last time. We didn't address it until, and here's another thing you guys were talking about. You know why Chubb's got to come back? What's Chubb's contract, Jeffrey? It's 1 year, right? He's got no contract. They don't give running backs these big contracts. Chubb has got to come back for himself. He's got probably, in my opinion, he's probably got something to play for.
He absolutely does. He's a UFA next year. This is a great point.
Chubb has got to go. So the Browns, yes, I agree with you. If Chubb was under contract, we lose. the commodes will probably run us out of the building because Jaden Daniels is on fire. I don't know how they're going to stop him. We lose that game. Philadelphia is a mess, but you're right. The smart thing to do is let that kid heal. But he can't. He's got to come and he's got to play because he needs to earn that contract.
That's a fair point. That's a fair assessment. I actually am loving this comment brought up in the chat from William. Just look at Stefanski's record. He has not had 2 back-to-back good seasons. Stefanski is good for 1 good year in a row. This is true. This is extremely true. Let's take a look at his tenure as a head coach. 11-5, 8-9, 7-10, and 11-6. So what a brilliant point by William. Didn't think about it like that because you're only thinking of the microcosm of the season, week to week, and this and that. But it's like, you know, you can't have 3 losses through 4 weeks. You had to win 3 of these games through the first 5 weeks.
Looking at the schedule, unacceptable.
You had to be 3-2.
I wonder what. I mean, how could that happen? I mean, William, that's a great point, but I mean, that's nobody would have thought this. Unacceptable.
Well, so 2021. So 2020 is the playoff win.
All right.
2021 is Baker's hurt, shoulders hurt, all that nonsense.
Yeah.
8-9. Still somehow win 8 games that year with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
The next year is the Watson suspension year, 11 games. And we still won 7 games that year. And last year was obviously 5 different starting quarterbacks, 11-6. Coach of the year again. I mean, he either wins 11 games and is coach of the year, or we don't make the playoffs,
or we suck. Yeah.
Those are your options.
Well,
amazing.
I've kind of felt since the preseason, I've kind of felt something has not been right about this team, though. It just hasn't felt, you know, I thought that he wanted to win in the preseason. I thought he wanted to get this team on the right path and start off. And I thought he wanted to win those games and put out a good effort. And boy, was I wrong, because he played nobody, and it's obviously cost this team. The injuries have piled up. And I don't know, nephew, is it bad luck? Are we not in shape? But it's not just us. The injuries are across the league. I mean, the Rams are everybody's banged up. Why?
So here's my thing. This is 2-pronged issue. Ashton, welcome on in. Ashton, loyal, faithful Cleveland Browns fan in Vegas.
We're all disappointed. Oh, poor bastard.
Can't believe that. I knew he was going to make the trip out there, but absolutely amazing. Hopefully you're staying in a nice hotel. Hopefully the blackjack table is nice to you. Just let's, couple hours here, Ashton. Regroup, get your mind right, go win some money for us, okay? Because it's just up to you, Ashton. The Browns aren't going to win anything, so we need you to at least win in Vegas a little bit. Report back. Two issues here, Uncle. Unlucky today, absolutely. We still didn't play good enough to win, though. So I can't even use this as a talking point. It's like, was that holding call nonsense? Is that the game? Sure, it absolutely could have been the game. The Raiders in a different universe come down and score a touchdown after that drive. You never know what happens based on momentum and game flow and everything like that. I wish I could say we're unlucky, but you can't, because they aren't even playing good enough to win football games.
No, of course not.
That's everything. That's it. If they were playing, and that's another thing too. Like today, there's really no excuse, probably any way you slice it, because if you let Gardner Minshew carve you up, then there's still going to be complaints. But it's not like the last 2 weeks. We were at Arrowhead, and it's like 35-30. Kansas City wins, and it's like an instant classic. It's not like that. It's not like we have 3 losses where we played good in all 3 games against good opponents and we just happened to lose. And I could be like, sucks. 3 losses sucks, but at least you have teams. What do you, through 4 weeks, riddle me this, answer me this question. What do you have to build on or look forward to through 4 weeks of football?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Miles
I mean,
Garrett getting one or two sacks. I mean, his numbers aren't even that. He's been good. Obviously, he's always good, and he's injured.
And he's banged up. And he's getting held all the time. I mean, we know that he's banged up. But no, nothing. There's not. Rodney McLeod making that one play was a bright spot today. I don't know.
That was luck. That was luck our way. Talk about the phantom holding call. I mean, yeah, they fumbled the ball. It was a good defensive play, but we fail to fall on it. I think the Raiders have a chance to fall on it. It squirts right to him. He picks up and runs in for a touchdown. That play could have went differently, where we just got the ball and didn't score a touchdown or whatever it may be. So there's going to be variance in NFL football games, but if you have nothing that has elevated you above that variance through 4 weeks, even the Jacksonville game, there was a sliver, and it was probably bigger than a sliver, where we could have lost. This football team could be 0-4 right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Could they be 3? Could they be 3-1? They could be, but they're just, there's nothing that I've viewed that has given me the benefit of the doubt to be like, oh yeah, this football team could be 3-1. No,
we haven't. This was the easy part of the schedule where we thought we would get everything, get everyone healthy, get Deshaun in gear. Yep. Like, these were absolutely winnable games. Like, how do you lose to Gardner Minshew? Trevor Lawrence is garbage. Obviously garbage. Dallas, okay, nobody. We were pissed that we lost to Dallas because the way we did. And I'll go back to what I said a few minutes ago. I said from the beginning, something seems wrong with this team, whether the locker room doesn't like him, whether whatever the hell it is. Something is not right with this outfit this year. And obviously we're seeing it play out. I mean, it could get ugly.
It could get ugly. The locker room is next. It can't. If you come out and lay an egg next week. Oh, all right. You're into mock drafts. You're into mock drafts in the first week of October. Great point here. Let's finish on this before we wrap up here. Browns 1-0 as underdogs, 0-3 as favorites. Amazing.
Oh boy. Turner, good point there, buddy.
We were I can't even believe after looking back on it, I can't even believe we were favorites week 1 against Dallas. That was a criminal line from folks out west. I know after your injury report this week, we were going to be slight favorites. I think we opened as dogs, but we didn't close. What did we close at? I don't even know.
It ended up closing at it was 3.
That's crazy. And I get you don't have the home factor because this is Las Vegas. It's going to be 50-50 split, but.
And it was 36 and a hook. It ended up at 36 and a hook, and Hopkins misses the extra point, and it stays under. And Ashton, you're right. I don't think the locker room believes in him either. Now, hopefully today, with him getting pissed off and shaking up DeJuan Jones, but I don't know. Are you going to – what's it going to take for him to get the locker room on his side? More of an effort like today? I mean, he showed a little bit of spunk, but not enough. I don't think it was enough.
This team here's what I'm gonna say, and I'm almost to the point where I'm like 60-40 that this season, 60% that the season is already lost, 40% that there's some backdoor hope, especially if. And I can't believe, like, I'm already scoreboard watching 4 weeks into the season. Oh, this game is already kicked off. If the Ravens lose this game tonight, I'm definitely 60-40 that you still have a chance, because this division will be so
7-0 Ravens. I
poor.
love the Ravens tonight.
This division will be so poor if Baltimore loses tonight. That I still think that you have a 40% chance of being able to do something. But
right.
like I said, 60% chance the season is lost. You have to come out next week. Let me tell you, we'll talk about this extensively this week, but here's what I'm thinking for next week at a minimum. Not only do you have to win in an extremely convincing manner. Deshaun Watson has to have between 250 and 350 passing yards, at least two or three total touchdowns. And you have to show some semblance that there's a little bit of dominance in you. I haven't seen I haven't seen 1% of dominance from this team. I'm not even we've gone way past average, serviceable. Have you seen one drive where you're like, wow, we just really destroyed them, picked them apart the whole series? And I'm talking about a 10, 11 play drive, 5 runs, 6 passes, 6 runs, 5 passes, where everything is going for chunk yardage. Everything is schemed up correctly, properly. Haven't seen it all year.
What gives you what the hell you think? What are you thinking? There hasn't been anything that has.
Oh, I'm thinking that this happening is a very low % chance, but I'm saying this is what has to happen if you want to have any, even if you win next week. If you win next week and it's 19-18 or whatever, some measly scoring line where the offense is just abysmal again, it's not going to matter.
Right. He drew up the first drive. It was nice. He drew up a good first drive, and then it's like he's confused. It's like he's looking through like, what the hell do I do now? I just don't have the confidence that all of what you just said, I would love for that to happen, but I don't have the confidence that we could do any of it. Any of it.
Very low percentage.
I mean, here's the thing. Like I said before, Denver gave Jeudy away. Why? Because, I don't know, nephew, did he not try? Did they know that they weren't going to be any good? I mean, obviously, Jeudy is not going to be a number one. Cooper was he was a nice receiver before, but I mean, he was never CD Lamb, was he? He'd get you 1,000 yards, right?
I mean, you got to think about it, though. Similar to vein of Jeudy, it's not like the 49ers were, maybe they really wanted him in the offseason, but it's not like they were like, hey, we need him to, push our agenda forward as the San Francisco 49ers. Like, it's not like the league is calling around asking for Amari Cooper, and he had a good year last year. I'm fully aware of that. But it's like the Jets, when Andrew Berry called the Jets and said, "Oh, we'll give you a second round pick for Elijah Moore," they probably did. They probably fell over on the phone. They probably didn't even know what to say. I mean, what has he been doing? What's his stat line today? I don't even know. Nothing for a second round pick. Individual stats. What do we have here? One catch for 11 yards.
One catch. Who's returning kicks? What the hell's going on with that? What is going on?
Foreman and Prochet, when they got rid of Jalen Darden, who was your best player week 1, then they waive him week 1 like a bunch of idiots. Where's Kadarius Toney?
I was just going to ask you, where's Kadarius Toney?
I don't even want to talk about his no hands looking ass. He's another idiot. He's another guy in that Andrew Berry vein of like, what does he do? What is happening?
Well, I tell you, Andrew Berry is not his. We were all on his. Well, okay. Here's another thing. Now you're getting me. Maybe the problem that we have is we are too heavy in this all analytics bullshit, because this is what happens when everything is relying on analytics. When you take the human brain out of everything and maybe they're so heavy in analytics and it's just screwing the analytics is making all the decisions, and it's screwing this outfit up, because maybe that's what's making it wrong. Because Barry started off and looked like we thought he was a genius, and now this guy's looking like a buffoon.
It's tough.
I mean, could that be? I mean, is it possible that DePodesta and all this analytics BS is getting bogged down?
And analytics isn't going to come and save you if the locker room doesn't believe in the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
And William Jackson, appreciate you being in this outfit tonight. Appreciate you being in this stream, because absolutely astute commentary all the way around from you. We have one of the best running backs in the game. Let's just break this down from a fundamental standpoint. We know that Chubb is hurt.
Yep.
Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Joel Bitonio. Has there ever been more culmination of talent on a Cleveland Browns roster since 1999? And it's like, what do you have to show for it? You have a cool Flacco run. Whatever you want to say about that, you have a cool God Flacco run off the couch and lays an egg in the playoffs. Some of those guys were around for the 2020 playoff win, which I guess is cool. But since then, it's like, what have you done for me recently? You're going on 5 years from that playoff win. Or 4 years or whatever it is. Excuse me.
And here's when you're saying all that, here's another point that you're making. With all of that you're saying, this is one of the, if you look on your little fancy computer, because I know you have them there, this is one of the oldest rosters in the NFL. Besides, everyone talks about all the money that Deshaun Watson didn't cost. Well, maybe it cost me and you if we go to the game. But besides all the money that Watson cost Cleveland, all the draft picks that came along with it, this team, if you look up and down, we are one of the oldest teams in the league. That is going to bite us in the ass sooner than later.
Fourth oldest roster.
What did I say? Fourth oldest roster. And his draft picks haven't been coming to fruition. Although I will say, I got to tell you, that Zach Zinter kid, I really liked him.
I think he'll be okay, but here's your issue. Watch. I already have the whole 12 months planned out for this franchise because I know exactly how Cleveland sports operate. And then we're going to wrap up here. We're going to take our sorrows to bed here. But this is exactly what's going to happen. Stefanski will find a way to squeak out 7 or 8 wins. And I'm being super generous here, I think, at this juncture in the season. They'll find a way to squeak out enough wins where it's like, oh, maybe we have a chance to make the playoffs within the last 3 or 4 weeks of the year. And like I said, generous at this point in the season. We'll have to hear about all off season about how this and that, what do we need in the draft? Mock draft this, mock draft that. They'll
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Go ahead.
They'll either. I think that my core is saying they'll draft a wide receiver in the first round for whatever reason, or they'll draft a left tackle, and they'll go one more year with Watson.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm an old guy, and I believe that winning football teams are built on offense and defensive lines. That's what I believe. But so I don't want to. Here's what I believe. You take a wide receiver. If you're a championship outfit, if you're the Chiefs,
yep.
If you're the Chiefs, you take a wide receiver first. Why? Because you have everything, right? And you can afford to take Xavier Worthy. But if you're a team searching for answers, you need the left tackle. You need the defensive tackle. Championship teams, you got to build them on the offense and defensive line because it's proven right here in Cleveland. I don't care. Deshaun Watson, whether he's compromised or not, if he has no protection, look what's happening.
And you know what the beauty is? You know what the beauty is of being the Chiefs? And you know what the beauty is of some of these rosters that we've seen throughout the year that have been elite and dynasty level, acquisitions and franchises? They don't even need the first round wide receiver. They get the first round wide receiver for fun. Tom Brady will take a guy who hasn't even played football in his life. He was a lifetime lacrosse player and turn him into a Super Bowl MVP or whatever may have you. How many times have we seen division rival Pittsburgh? Antonio Brown. Take a look when he was drafted. Take a look when all of these guys. They don't use any draft picks on. When you have a Hall of Fame level quarterback, you don't have to. You can hang around fifth round. Get the guy with all the tangibles that's fast and twitchy, but he just was terrible in college, or he wasn't very good, or small school, whatever it may be. Line up, put him out there, scheme him next to Travis Kelce, have Pat Mahomes throwing him the ball. Yep. Congratulations. We don't have that.
Look at Shanahan in San Francisco, his dad in Denver. You have McCaffrey's not there. And you have Jordan Mason. It's a system. They're system backs. Now, maybe Jordan Mason will never be McCaffrey. McCaffrey's awesome. But they're system backs, and that's what works. We don't have that. But go ahead.
I think that's it. I think we're going to wrap up here. I don't have anything else to say. Final thoughts?
Well, it's sad. We're all mad. This was one we had to have, and I was saying all week, if not now, when? It's going to be a tough week. I think there's going to be a lot of hollering. There's going to be a lot of screaming.
A lot of rumors or sources.
A lot of rumors. And I think if it's got to be gut check time, because I'm telling you right now, that kid in Washington is legit. And if we mess around, Jaden Daniels is going to run it up on us.
Yep.
He's legit. So we better be careful, and let's hope to God we could steal one up in Washington this week.
And I will agree with your defensive take for this week. If you put out that defensive effort next week, they're gonna score a lot more than 20 points.
Oh, it'll be brutal.
I'll end on this. Everybody in here, Twitter, YouTube, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you hitting that like button, making sure you're following, subscribing, staying up to date with us here at The Pulse. We're just fans too. We just want to see good Cleveland football. That's it. We want to see good Cleveland football, basketball, and baseball. But when we don't, we're going to come on here. We're going to give you our thoughts. We appreciate you listening to us. Hope we were entertained for you tonight. I'll leave you at this before we sign off. Think about this internally, everybody out there. Who, and it's going to be just a name. Just a name will come to your head. Maybe no name will come to your head because I don't know if I have one right now. Who is going to step up in this locker room this week and be a leader? I'm not sure. I don't think it's Watson. Chubb has never been a vocal guy. Hurt, healthy. Is Myles Garrett that guy? Is Amari Cooper going to get up on the soapbox? Not that he has a whole lot of right to. A veteran, Zadarius Smith, JOK. Who's going to look people in their soul this week in the locker room and in practice and say, look, this is going to probably be your season next week. 1-4? No. Not going to happen. No playoffs. No playoffs for you. Get to the mock drafts. Do you want the reporters, the local guys, the 92.3, the fans, the WTM 1100s? Do you want them talking about mock drafts after 5 weeks? Or do you want to say, okay, they bounced back. They played the best game of the year. Now we're 2-3. Let's see what you do next. That's all I'm going to leave you with. Everyone who's here, appreciate you being a part of the stream. Shout out to the special guests, Turner, Robert. Thank you very much. Graciously appreciate your company tonight. And with that all being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one.